I want to welcome everybody to the Rangers Corner. Stay tuned. The Rangers Corner is a new podcast series that I'm starting, and we're going to talk about barbecue, smoking meats, grilling, barbecue rubs, barbecue sauces, such as that. I'm very passionate for barbecue. If you don't know, I have Ranger Rob's Barbecue and Catering. It started about 2020, right before COVID. I got to tinkering around and smoking some Boston butts and a Pit Boss pellet grill smoker. And people told me that my Boston butts tasted pretty good and I ought to sell them. I told them they were crazy and didn't know what they were talking about. But as time went on, they kept telling me, you need to sell this product. You need to sell this product. You got something going here. This Boston butt tastes different from everybody else's. I'd fooled around in the past and had several different smokers. I'm always the type that wants to try something different, try to find something better. But I finally think I might have got onto something. My Boston butts tasted pretty good, and everybody kept complimenting them. So I acquired a new nickname called Ranger Rob. I'm a conservation officer, and then everybody started calling me Ranger, and then Rob for short for Robert. So Ranger Rob come in. And so I decided I'd start Ranger Rob's Barbecue. So I had a Pit Boss pellet smoker. One Pit Boss pellet smoker turned into two turned into three, and I was out of room. We had our kitchen. I was using our personal kitchen as a place to prep meat and ran out of room there. Ran out of room on the three smokers. So I had to increase production, increase size to be able to accommodate everything I wanted to do. At that time, I found Mark Lambert with Sweet Swine O' Mine. Mark's a 7-time world champion barbecue cook. He's won the shoulder division 7 times at Memphis MMA in the world championship. He's been featured on many barbecue shows, many barbecue podcasts. He owns his own distributing company called Sweet Swine O' Mine Distributing. If it's the latest and best type of smoker or grill, Mark Lambert's going to have it in stock. If he doesn't have it, you don't need to be using it. He carries charcoal, he carries pellets, he carries everything you need for smoking or grilling, and a lot of other cooking related items also. He's located at Bahia, Mississippi off of Edwards Road. And you go see him. His website is Sweet Swine O' Mine Distributing, SSOMD.com. So I went to see Mark, and he told me I need to get me an old hickory CTO for what I was doing. With the Pit Boss pellet grill, I was having to get up and rotate racks during the night, put the top racks on the bottom, put the bottom racks on the top, having to replace water pans, fill them up. And Mark said if I got me an old hickory CTO, all this getting up during the night will be solved. I could just put the meat on at night before I went to bed and come back the next morning, it was ready. And he was right. The old hickory turned into a great product, and it was something I really, really came to enjoy, and I figured out how to use it very quickly. And after I got my first old hickory CTO, I started cooking more and more, and I decided to turn my shop into a commercial kitchen. And when I turned into a commercial kitchen, I lost all my shop space, but I turned into a commercial kitchen, and it became known as the Ranger Station. When the Ranger Station developed, things just started taking off. I was doing a lot of cooking for people, selling a lot of Boston butts. Then I started cooking briskets. And more people kept wanting to try my food, and I kept trying more and more different recipes. I started talking to my cousin, John McKinnon, out of Regional of Fireman John Barbecue. He's competed in Memphis MA and other contests, and he's won several big name contests also. He has his own line of rubs and seasonings. And we started talking, and I was talking more with Mark, and they said, Robert, this stuff's going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing. I said, well, I don't know if I've got room for it to grow. So I decided I want to get a food trailer, and I want to get in the catering business a little bit. Food trailers are very hard to find, and finding one that you wanted was very hard. So Mark just happened to have one, had a CTO double wide on it. The CTO double wide was 2 CTOs put together. Mark didn't want to sell it, but knowing how I am, I pressure everybody and won't let something go, and I just keep on. So I talked him into selling me his trailer. I used that trailer till I outgrew it, and to it, I needed something different. And then I found another trailer, and that's the current trailer I have now, which is larger and set up different than it is. But Ranger Rob's Barbecue turned into Ranger Rob's Barbecue and Catering. I got into the Ole Miss athletics scene, where I was able to start catering some stuff on campus with Ole Miss athletics. And that grew, turned into more catering, some more opportunities, and meeting new people down the road. And the business kept growing. And then I decided I was going to tackle the Grove. Nobody knows what the Grove is. It's tailgating on Ole Miss football game days. The Grove is a whole different animal in itself. Ole Miss has been ranked the number one tailgate school in America numerous times, and the Grove is what causes it to be so good. It's thousands and thousands of people on game day. So I met some friends, Brandon and Jenna Mason, and they have Take It to the Grove tailgating company. They set up tents, and they have customers that come from all over the country to go to the Grove, and they utilize Take It to the Grove services, and they're a full turnkey operation. They'll give you tents, they'll give you tables, they'll give you TVs, generators, whatever you need, chairs, however many tents you need, they'll take care of it. And they also have certain caterers they work with. And I got very fortunate to be able to become one of their caterers they work with. And since that time, I was able to go up to the Grove, drop food off at their tent, and they would deliver my food to other customers' tents in the Grove, whether it's their customer or another tent vendor customer or just somebody that brought their own tent. Take It to the Grove would deliver my food. And that was last year, was the first year of that. And it was very hectic, very crazy. And this year, business doubled. We did a lot more football games. We had a lot more business in the Grove. People started knowing who Ranger Rob's Barbecue and Catering was. And the first year, I had my food truck set up outside the stadium, right between the pavilion and the stadium, because concessions was short because of COVID. And you want to talk about crazy. When you got 40 and 50 people standing in line at one time to get your food, you've got to really roll. And it was very hectic and chaotic, but we were able to accomplish what we were trying to do. And then we grew to the Grove, and business has been great ever since. I had an opportunity to do some catering for the Morgan Wallen concert last year for their setup team. The people that set the stage up, they were here for an entire week, setting the stage up and prepping the stadium. I was able to cater for them 2 meals a day in collaboration with my Michelle's out of Oxford. We tag teamed it, and we were able to provide them food the whole time they were here. And we would love to have the opportunity to do it again when they come back this year. So I've rambled here a little bit and just told you a little bit about Ranger Rob's Barbecue and Catering. Like I said, we've grown from a little small operation to a pretty good sized business. I've been very fortunate, very blessed. I want to keep growing. I want to keep scaling this operation. I have a YouTube channel called Ranger Rob's /Barbecue and Catering. I put videos on there showcasing how to cook items and recipes and things about barbecue. I decided I want to start this podcast. This podcast is called the Ranger's Corner. In this Ranger's Corner, I'm going to bring people like Mark Lambert, like John McKinnon, like Boar's Night Out. Everybody that has products that I've used or I know about. Let me back up a minute. In between, I started cooking in steak contests, and I became really learned how to cook steaks a different way than people imagine they're cooked. And during the steak contest, when I was cooking with the State Cook-Off Association, I met a lot of people. And a lot of these people have their own rub lines, whether it's beef rubs, barbecue rubs, all-purpose seasoning rubs. So name it, they have rubs that for any type of meat or vegetable that you can imagine. And during that time of meeting a lot of people, I was able to try a lot of rubs. And people here in North Mississippi have never even heard of some of these rubs or heard of some of these people. They just seen stuff you can buy on the shelves at Walmart or your local grocery store. But I know people that have their own rubs and they're showcased in other states and other communities, and some of them are even be able to sell worldwide. And what I'm going to do in this Rangers Corner, I'm going to bring these people on as my guests, and we're going to talk about their rubs. I want them to tell you about their product, what their product has done for them, how to use their product, and what their product is best used for. And so maybe if you watch the show, you can gain some insight and come to find some different rubs and some different seasonings that you've never used before. And that's my goal. My goal is to be able to educate you and let you find something that you can try different, and also to promote these small businesses of these rub creators and sauce creators that I'm going to bring on the show each week. And sometimes I'm liable to bring a guest on, and we're just going to talk about barbecue. We're going to talk about grilling. We're just going to have a little chat and talk about several different things. But I just want to come to you today and tell you I was starting this Rangers Corner podcast, and also tell you a little bit about Ranger Rob's Barbecue and Catering and how it started, where it come from, and tell you the sky's the limit. And I want to keep growing and going to keep trying to scale. So remember, don't be a stranger to the Ranger. And we'll be back next week. See you later, folks.